Hello everybody, and welcome to the 4th Dev Talk for Battlegrounds Season 4. My name is Gia.
I'm Dominic, and today we're talking about demons.
That's right, demons enter the Battlegrounds today with quite a few changes. Currently, they're known for two main archetypes, consuming minions from Bob's Tavern, or token-based strategies with Soul Juggler, which was more of a tempo thing to do and not really a late-game viable strategy. So we're going to give that a little bit of a break and replace it with a whole new self-damage archetype. And that was inspired by an old minion in Floating Watcher, but the problem with that one was once you got an immune minion online like Cathranatir to stop you from dying, you couldn't further scale it.
So we found a new way to prevent the damage, but still trigger those minions that want you to self-damage. This is Soul Rewinder. After your hero takes damage, rewind it and give this +1 health. So in the minions that we'll talk about in a second that damage your hero, you'll take that damage for just a second and then undo it. So you don't have to worry about getting too low on health, but everything is still activated.
Absolutely. On tier 2, we also have Backstage Security, which is very good stats for the tier, not the cost. But of course, if you have Soul Rewinder, it's even better because you don't even get any of that downside.
Backstage Security is also a really easy way to activate your Keyboard Igniter, which is a new tier 3 demon. Battlecry, if you've taken damage since last turn, give your other demons +1/+2. And it's important to note that if you haven't dealt any damage to your hero this turn from demons, it might still be active from taking damage from combat last turn.
And another one on tier 3 is Malchezaar, Prince of Dance, which uses that same costs health instead of gold line of the text box as Leeching Fellhound, except now instead of buying, it is for refreshing. So you can get 2 extra refreshes per turn if you're willing to pay the price, or you got the Soul Rewinder, which means you can find demons more consistently and play those to trigger your Wrathweaver, which will then trigger your Tichondrius.
That's right, Tichondrius is the new tier 5 demon, which scales all your other demons every time your hero takes damage. This works great with Malchezaar. Soul Rewinder will make sure that you don't take damage as you're scaling. When you get all those pieces together, it feels great.
And as the cherry on top, we have Imposing Percussionist, which is a 2-for-1 trigger on your Wrathweaver/Tichondrius. It allows you to discover a demon, and while you do take damage equal to its tier, that shouldn't really matter when you got the Soul Rewinder online. And on top of all of these new minions, we've also made a few changes to existing cards. The first of which is Wrathweaver, which we've already mentioned quite a few times is a powerful engine for this new archetype, which means that we had to pull back on the scaling a little bit, but it gets 1 extra base health to compensate.
We also lowered a Nylon Battlemaster to tier 4, so that you can get to that advantage of hero damage a little bit earlier in the game.
And our final change is to Famished Felbat, which is of a different archetype within demons, but one that we feel was a good one to pull back on to let the self-damage demons shine a little bit more. But speaking of consumed demons, while Famished Felbat no longer buffs itself, one of them that still does is Insatiable Urzul on tier 5, which is a great bridge between the self-damage composition and the consume one, because whenever you play a demon, it's going to keep growing, and it's also going to trigger Wrathweaver, Tichondrius, and everything gets out of hand pretty quickly.
Well, that's all the new content for demons. You can play them all right now in the Battlegrounds. And you can also tune in next week on May 22nd for our final Dev Talk with Mex and Quilboar.
Very excited. Hope to see you in the Battlegrounds.